Welcome back, Moto enthusiasts and just all around homies in general. So, man, it's been kind of a weird week. Normally I've got a schedule on what I'm going to do and what videos I'm going to post, and I'm very analytical, hence all the riding tutorials and breakdowns, etc. But I digress. It's been a weird week, so I'm doing a live show of this week in Moto. Some of the stuff that I thought was noteworthy, getting ready for my next live show tomorrow, the podcast that I do with Coach Rob and Cooksey, and then the Unadilla race. So, what is the first thing? Oh yeah, and in this live show, I'm doing the monthly Patreon and member giveaway. I'm pretty much giving away 80% of everything that I get from Patreon or the YouTube memberships to just kind of give back to you guys. I'm hoping it's going to turn into something bigger, but I need to advertise it a little bit more to make it better, because it would be nice to be able to give away, KLX 110s and all sorts of stuff. So I got big goals, but it's not a matter of how, it's a matter of who. I'm going to be needing some help. But anyway, enough about that. Let's get right on into some of the things that happened this week. Nichols signed a 2-year deal with Beta. He's going to be joining forces with Benny Bloss. Truthfully, I kind of think that this Beta is going to outperform Ricky Carmichael's Triumph stuff. These motorcycles have been around for a while. They do the GNCCs. They do a lot of the enduro stuff. They're really good at two-strokes. So getting into a 450 scenario for Supercross, I think, is perfect. I think really they're going to do better than Triumph. But don't quote me on it or quote me on it. We will see what happens. Up next is Aaron Plessinger is returning to KTM. So I think this is good news. We saw him almost win a Supercross. It just broke my heart. He's done really well in the Nationals. He's been right up there, but unfortunately, man, nobody's just beating Jet, just plain and simple. Nobody's beating Jet. Even with the return of Justin Barcia from Gas. It's going to be nice to see him race. And truthfully, I think a lot of these riders are coming back because they want to have the points to stay inside the top 20 for the super motocross stuff. Because it's like Vegas. No matter how you finish, maybe it's not, that's a bad analogy. Nothing's like Vegas, because Vegas, you usually end up broke, right? You go there with, hey, I'm only going to spend $1,000. You leave $3,000 in the hole. That city, my goodness, which is a bummer as to why the Supercross finale or nothing is in Vegas. It really should be at Vegas for that reason, because, man, there's something about Vegas. Anyway, you guys get mad at me for saying I digress a bunch, but, literally, that was definitely on a tangent there. That's the only reason why I think a lot of these riders, like Cooper Webb, etc., were coming back to race, is because this whole Supermoto Championship. And speaking of that Supermoto Championship, I'm jumping around here just a bit, is you're actually going to have, if we can get, there we go. Some amateurs. There have 3 classes. You've got the 65 World All-Star, which are going to race the playoffs and the finale, 7 to 11. More than likely just the finale. Excuse me. Yeah, just the finale here. The Super Mini guys, 12 to 16, and then you're going to have basically the Supercross Futures again with the World All-Stars. But this isn't anybody can show up. Every manufacturer, Gas, Honda, Husqvarna, Kawasaki, KTM, Suzuki, Yamaha, and Cobra. Notice there's no Triumph, there's no Beta in there because they don't have little bikes, they don't have big bikes available right now, but they're going to race the Supercross finale, which I think is awesome. I do think it's awesome. However, we are turning into Formula One, which isn't a bad thing, but it's just, the privateer is going away. Unfortunately, it's going away. That's why I've always been for a stock class. Like, make the privateers live on in a stock class, and then we can have a works class where unlimited budget, whatever, the sanctioning body will then say, hey, you can only spend this much. No. All the little nits and bits, they can figure it out. But if you're going to have the homologation rule, let these guys who don't win championships as an amateur because they're not on a factory team, let them go race the stock class, because eventually we'll probably see a electric class. Yeah, you guys probably don't like me saying that, and that's probably why I get a lot of stuff as far as, Johnny, you're a liberal because you're for solar panels and electric vehicles. No, I am not a liberal, but yes, I am. It's a gray area. All that stuff. I live life on the gray area, not black and white, because, man, there's so many different shades of gray. It's ridiculous. Back to what we were talking about with gas. So you had a fill-in rider in the 250, Caden Braswell, and he got ejected from gas now that they got Barsha coming back. They're like, Caden, here's the door, and then a little boot to Caden. Man, just bummer. But he's actually going to the privateer support team that Ty Masterpool is on, which HBI Kawasaki. So, yeah, good for him. Hopefully he can have just as good of results as Ty is having in the 450 class. But hey, the clickbait title that I had as far as Tomac, his new ride. Somebody's riding his bike. Factory parts. Riding the factory part star Yamaha. It's a dude that races the Japanese series. He's an Aussie. He is a Aussie. And that individual is going to be Jay Wilson. And he's going to have 3 digits, 906. So I'm interested to see his qualifying time. He's actually leading the Japanese Motocross Championship right now. So his bike is probably going to be more stock than it is over there in Japan, because they've got to work stuff over there. You know, they got different rules. They play by a different set of books. Over here, it's a little bit of guidelines, but still, you know, there's a little bit of sense of humor in there. And this whole video, this whole segment, I'd like to continue to do this for this week in motocross. Just a little synopsis for people that don't keep up with everything. Let me do it, right? And let me give you my biased opinion on everything that happens in the moto industry, unfiltered as we do. So, or I do, until I get more help, right? All things. Rising tide lifts all ships. Oh, and speaking of ships, because of the fact that my schedule's been all jacked up, I don't have a designated video sponsor, but I do want to give shout out to PureMoto.com. They are amazing at connecting products and companies to consumers. They have a wonderful index technology, so make sure you go check them out at PureMoto.com. Coach Rob Beams, he's got an amateur development program that he's looking for sponsored riders. Trust me, I wish I would have had this, because you guys all know that I'm training for an Ironman, and dude, my VO2 max is up. You get out what you put in. He definitely has hard programs, but if you can put in the work, it will definitely help you. Make sure you check that out at CompleteRacingSolutions.com. And then finally, Precision Transport. If you're building a track, right? If you got a new Supercross track, you need help, you need a big freight company to load in dirt, or you actually, you're selling Beanie Babies, because I guess that was a huge thing as far as a collector's item. There's a nice little not a really documentary, but a comedy on Apple TV, which is actually pretty good. Make sure you call Precision Transport at 877-827-0618. They will do anything here in the United States. So, now that I got that, Jay Wilson, if I had to say anything, I want to say on Tomac's bike, I'm guessing top 10? You guys think top 10? Do you think he's going to beat Ty Masterpool? Let me know in the chat if you think he's going to beat the best privateer so far in the 450 class. I don't know. I'm up in the air on that one, so I'm definitely just going to say top 10. Oh, and if you guys live under a rock, they had a very muddy Loretta Lynn, and there's a few bits and pieces of drama that went down there, but Daxton Bennick won all 3 motos in the Open Pro Sport class. I've got some analysis videos on Loretta if you want to check them out. And in the 250 Pro Sport class, Gavin Towers ended up with third, second. It was very muddy, very muddy. Pretty much only Moto 1 was clean, right? And then you've got Julian, or nicknamed Juju, which is easier to say than his last name, Boomer. I think Bomer is probably it, But anyway, I apologize, buddy. Juju's a badass nickname. Sorry for mispronouncing your second one. He had trouble. He had trouble in Pro Sport and also, both Pro Sport, 250 and 450. Arguably, I believe he was the fastest guy on the track. And then it's pretty cool to always look at the schoolboy and the super mini classes. Not so much. I don't really follow the 65s and the 50s as much because things can happen with your family and everything because there's just, it consumes your life. Just absolutely just consumes your life, this sport, and it starts at such a young age. Anyway, I've got my own ideology on that whole thing. But you look at these guys because these are the next guys that are coming up. Casey Cochran with a fifth first. He had, I believe, a dislocated shoulder, but ended up coming back. And, so that shows you a lot at this guy's grit right here. So you want to pay attention to him. And Landon Gordon with a first, second, and second in Super Mini. Pretty freaking impressive if I don't say so myself. And really almost in other news, some of the stuff that I found interesting is Gypsy, the Gypsy Tales, dude. Gypsy Gang 1000 effing%. We're all on board. Jace has been around for a while, and he deep dives on Vital this week, or was it last week? Pretty much during the run. He deep dived a little bit about his career, and he also got invited onto the Title 24 podcast on YouTube, where you have Ricky Carmichael and Ryan Villapoto. Not sure if you guys know them, but, cumulative, they've got 24 national titles. Took me a little while to put those together, so, because I'm a dumbass, but yeah, that's the deal here. And Jace deep dives in about his career, so that is actually a really good one that I suggest people listen to. And then another one, you got Cooksey. He called out Ryan Hughes, and he got Ryan on a podcast, and this was also very interesting to hear. I really like Ryan Hughes's view on life, and you pretty much being okay with being by yourself, because it's very hard to lock yourself in a room with the lights off for more than 2.2 seconds without all this shit going into your head, right? So anyway, that's a good one as well. And on to my giveaway. Yes, every month I do a giveaway. I'm freaking 10 days late on this stuff because I guess being daddy daycare, I have a hard time scheduling stuff, or I have to have an open schedule because things go differently, right? So I'm going to send the winner $75 gift card to whatever they want to buy, right? It'd be nice to send them some crypto, but people don't like crypto and that sort of thing. Small disclaimer. If I ever contact you on Instagram as Johnny Crypto, it's not freaking me, okay? There's like a 2,000... imposters, doppelgangers that are stealing my content, all sorts of stuff. So I do not sell programs. I do not take people's money there. Everything that I do is free advice. So it's been ruining my name. Just gotta say it in there because I made a joke about freaking crypto. So, gosh. Anyway. I do want to, where the freak is my Patreon stuff? I do want to welcome Kevin for joining the Patreon this month. Yes, I post all my race notes, and sometimes when I get some different information, I put it up there. I'm not super active on there, so really it's just to support the channel, and I'm giving, like I said, the majority of it away, and let's go with it, right? So if you join the Patreon, you get some 3 to 4 times entries. If you join the channel membership, so you get sweet little names like all the guys. You got Michael Slayer 69 in there, and Boop Knows, who got the red plate in the chat room. They are all members, so I wish you guys luck here. So let's freaking hit this thing WFO with the eyes closed in the whoop section. 6-gear pinned, even though most bikes don't have 6 gears anymore. They only have 5, and God help us because there's going to be no gears eventually because it's going to be freaking electric. You're even going to do away with the rear brake foot deal. It's all going to be handbrakes. So sad. Anyway, drum roll. Drum roll. Drum roll. Do. Patrick Spencer. Congratulations. You have won a $75 gift card to Moto Sport. So thanks for being a channel member and supporting this channel because it's unfiltered. So I'm going to message you on Patreon and you're going to just, send me your email so that I can send that over to you. But anyway, guys, this has been the first episode of Moto this week, or This Week in Moto. So thanks for sticking around, guys, and make sure you head out to... He cheated is what the chat says. Who knows? You got to ask. Maybe he's on a good ped program. That's a good way to cheat. So anyway, I know I don't brop as often anymore, but let's freaking let it go. Bra da 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 whoa 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 da 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 whoa. Hope you guys are having a good week.